They're fickle.
Yo, 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 what's poppin', all my peeps? It is I, your host with the most Renaissance man who always thinks he can, and your champion of the peeps, Patty Pitts, back once again in the Yard of Streams for another edition of Pitts and Sara's Wrestling Show, where we take no nights off. And it's not just me, Patty P, here in the Yard of Streams. I'm joined, as always, by the best of the West. You can't forget about Sarah Marshall. What is poppin', girl?
Hey, yo.
Hello.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
I'm hungry for like real food. Yeah.
Define real food.
Like a meal, not just
Okay.
a snack.
Okay.
You know.
I'm with it. I'm with
Mhm.
it. Because you could have been like, I'm hungry. I'm hungry for ice cream. Or I'm hungry
Nah, I mean, that sounds good, but like I
right.
don't have coffee creamer, so I haven't had my protein coffee, and so that's been a bummer. And then
that is tough.
because this is like my Friday, I'm craving, like pizza, burgers, like nasty food,
Yeah.
So
I think I love cheeseburgers more than any
My
other
first
food.
love was a cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger? Well, all right. See, I was going to say
I've never had a
pizza.
cheeseburger.
You've never had a cheeseburger?
No. I did not like burgers when I was little. I only liked hot dogs. So I would eat hot dogs. And then I couldn't have cheese.
Okay. So burger, though. So, all right.
Oh, yeah. I eat burgers. I'm just saying I've never had a cheeseburger because I was a hot dog gal.
Oh, all right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I am going back in my mind,
Nathaniel,
what the
Nathaniel,
fuck,
stop
man?
it right now. Stop it right now.
Is fucking nasty.
Stop the nonsense.
I don't even like
dudes.
that's just foul. Nonsense has a little fun to it, but
I have an intestinal disease, so I can't eat a lot of foods, and dairy is one of them. If I consume a bunch of foods that I cannot eat, I could die. So, to put it plainly and bluntly,
die, guys.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Don't give her cheese. Don't do it.
Yeah. But anyway.
Yeah, I would love a burger right now. I had a Korean, like some beef bowl from my dad's place. They fucked up my mom's.
I can't keep talking about food right now.
I'm sorry, I forgot you.
I'm hungry. That was the whole point of this conversation.
I totally get it. And we will stop talking about food.
Alrighty.
And talking about what's going on in the Wrestleverse this week.
It's like it's a lot and not a lot.
Exactly. There's a lot with certain news stories that have came up, and obviously there's a lot with both companies this weekend having some sort of premium live event, with Saturday night's main event and AEW Double or Nothing. So there's a lot in
Sunday,
that,
though, right?
They're on Sunday, Saturday night's main event, obviously. On Friday. So so, there's a lot there, but, when it comes to random little, we'll say B stories, there's not like, crazy stuff because the attention broke today. The news today, I think, broke Twitter for quite some time. Thank God I was listening to my CVV interviews during that, which Sara, Lyra Valkyria, great interview. It was definitely her first time on CVV.
Yeah.
And you can tell that she's going to be a major star or some form of face of the women's division soon, because what she was saying in her interview with him and the questions that she was answering, like this girl knows what she wants, and her mindset is very similar to those who play on a different level than the rest of the competition.
Thanks to some help from Becky.
Yeah, I know she got the Becky Lynch rub, which is great to hear. So yeah, we'll talk about all that. And we got the 3 count to hopefully wrap up the show. And hopefully I get inspiration for one. But in the meantime, before we get into all that, we got to hear from the peeps in the chat. And for any peep in the chat wondering, yes, I'm wearing a blanket. We have a nor'easter outside, and it's like went from 70 degrees to 45 degrees. I'm cold. All right. And like fashion sense, it's called Sarah. It's called fashion. High fashion. Nathaniel was popping. He got some new
Ooh,
Patriots pajamas today. Good shit.
very nice.
I would like to see Christian and Cope
Ugh.
align once, team up for one final ride type of thing. I wouldn't mind that. And the more I think about it, it's not, yeah, the patriarchy will like turn, but then Nick Wayne taking over the patriarchy, I really want to see that. Nick Wayne has a very bright future in this industry. This would be a very good launching point for him to see if he can handle leading a faction.
I kind of feel like reuniting them feels like something to do at the end of like when they're going to retire.
Like both of them, you mean?
Or one of them. It feels more like Cope would retire before Christian. Because
I think he might. He's still having problems recovering from that injury.
I feel like them pairing up is something that they should do towards the end, because I don't like, what do you do after that? That would get that same reaction of like seeing these two guys back together. It just like that kind of feels like let them ride off into the sunset as like ending the way that they kind of started. That feels appropriate in my eyes.
Do you think they should win the AEW tag team titles in their final run, or?
I feel like it just depends on where they're at and who's the champions and whatever, because I don't think it's not a necessity, but I feel like it just depends on where the business is and who the champs are and if it would make sense in the story,
Yeah.
Because like you can still have a decent like retirement tour or like this is the end or whatever, and it doesn't have to be that you were a champion.
Oh, agreed. I don't like imagine the Hurt Business and Cope and Christian. Like, come on.
That'd be crazy.
I will be bringing up the Hurt Syndicate very soon. Just gonna let you know. David, what's up? Bad guy, what's up? Jay, what's up? Nathaniel, mustard does not belong on ice cream. I will say it again. I'm not doing it. Bad guy, we are going to talk about the WrestleMania news. I don't want to bring it up now because with my brain and Sarah's brain, we'll just go off and start talking about it. And we have to stay organized on the show, Sarah. We kind of have to stay organized here in the yard. So one way we do that is kicking it to the segment that starts off every No Nights Off Super Show.
Don't be a lemon, be a rosebud.
Drink it in, man.
Yo, disgusting.
A bit in the bubbly. All right, I'm done impersonating Chris Jericho. It is time for our lemons and rosebuds of the week. Rosebuds being our favorite thing, while the lemons are our least favorite thing. Sarah, as I am a gentleman and a scholar, I will let you go first with your favorite thing that you saw in wrestling this week.
So this one is kind of, I don't know, maybe a little bit random. He hasn't been on TV for a month. However, I have been, I don't know, kind of amazed at the love that Cody Rhodes has been getting since he has been off TV. And so for me, I am enjoying seeing how many people are expressing that they miss him on TV and they're kind of showing their appreciation for him now that he's gone. I get the whole, absence makes the heart grow fonder, but the kind of stuff that people were saying about him leading up to WrestleMania and saying he, had a mediocre title reign, that he's not the face of the company, he's this, he's that, whatever. I think that people are kind of looking back and being like, okay, maybe I didn't realize how good we kind of had it,
Mm-hmm.
And I think some of it might play into the disappointment that a lot of people have with John Cena's title run. And that might be part of why people are like, okay, I miss Cody, because at least when Cody was champion, he was there every week and he was doing this. doing that. But I don't know. I think that this is the kind of thing that people should have been feeling about him. Like, regardless if you're a fan or not, you should be able to appreciate the eyes that he brought on to WWE, the fact that he was there every single week, the fact that there were weeks where he was on Raw and SmackDown, how many feuds he carried on his own because whoever he was against was not showing up every week. Like, Cody has done a lot over the past 3 years since he returned. And it feels like this is the first time that people are kind of acknowledging that, which is kind of shocking.
I agree that they have been acknowledging a little bit more from what I've seen, at least on social media. I miss him too. Simply put.
What do you miss though? That's the thing is like,
I miss having like a QB1. Like that's what he is. He's a QB1 for the WWE. And I wanted to compare it to a quarterback going down with an injury, and you have to deal with the backup. Maybe you get lucky and the backup's fun to watch and he has a little bit of a different charisma to him than your true QB1. We don't really have that with Cena. To me, it feels like a dark force is kind of looming over the WWE universe. And I'm on the side of liking Cena's title reign because he's following it's following the story of Cena. Before he won the championship at WrestleMania, he said he's going to ruin wrestling. He said that pretty much everything what's going on right now is because of what John Cena said. He's going to ruin wrestling. He's going to take the championship with him, and you're not going to see it, all this stuff. And he's doing it by the way he's wrestling, one, two, his promos, calling out the fans for everything they do, even getting into it with little kids. The opposite of what Super Cena would have done. And the feuds so far have been pretty good, honestly. I mean, Randy Orton Cena after WrestleMania into Backlash. Obviously, we sat here and we're like, well, Cena's not just going to lose to Randy Orton. So how they do it? Well, R-Truth. And now we get to see Cena and R-Truth go at it one more time in the ring. And I like it because R-Truth gets that, good job and that spotlight, which he deserves, because he, in his own right, has been carrying WWE on the comedic side of things. So now in a different spotlight, why not reward the guy by putting him in a championship match?
Not championship match, though.
Oh, it's not for the title?
It's not, right? Isn't it not for the title?
Sure, it's for the title.
I swear it wasn't.
All right, well, besides the point. But anyways, for the title or not, the point is that what Cena's doing right now has been great because it just feels like it's following through with everything that's been going on in his story of final whatever.
Yeah, it's non-title.
That's wild to me. But anyway, I get it, but whatever. With Cody being gone, that darkness starts to seep in, and you are like, oh, I would just wish that Cody would come out and, talk, praise us and be our guy. And, Cena's not our guy. He feels like he's holding Cody's championship, because when you think of John Cena with the WWE championship, you think of a spinner, either his title. You think of that one, or even the 2014 one that they changed it to after The Rock won it. Like, you think of that era. You don't think of this one. You think of it being Cody's championship. So, yeah.
His absence has created opportunities for other people. I think that people might be just 100%. Anticipating what his return is going to be. How are they going to involve him? And, like, what is going to happen? Is he going to go after Cena? Is he going to get the title back from Cena? Like, what are we going to do? But I don't know. I just thought it was fascinating to see people just change up their opinion so quickly on him. Like, he's literally been gone only a week, and people that were complaining about him are like, where is he? It's like, okay, bro. Like, you can't have it both ways.
You can't have it both ways. All right, well, let me go to let me get this banner. Yeah, my Rosebud comes from the Elite Wrestling promotion over on TBS. AEW has done a great job with their programming the last few weeks. Even if you haven't been a fan of the Death Rider stuff, you can still enjoy what's going on with the Owen Hart Memorial Cup. Ospreay Hangman, that build to the match on Sunday has been phenomenal. In the promo battle that they had last night was just eyes glued to the television type of entertainment. I mean, Ospreay pouring his heart out, pretty much stamping home that he's going to be the next guy in AEW, which fine. If you want to be that guy, go for it. I'd love to see it. You earned it. I definitely say you earned it. And while he's saying that, Hangman saying he needs to because to forget about what happened last year and all this stuff, yada yada yada. But that's been great, and it's making you want to watch AEW not just because of stars or fantastic wrestling. They're finally starting to get some deep storytelling, and it is getting better. Even with the Death Rider stuff, it seems a little chaotic right now because there's so many interconnecting relationships and enemies and whatnot within the Anarchy Arena match. But I love what they're doing right now in AEW with focus, at least trying to focus more on the long-term storytelling and just instead of match after match after match, which obviously they're still doing. That's what you have to do if you're a wrestling promotion. But it's getting better, and the women's division is getting really deep, and not just deep like, oh yeah, they have X amount of women on the roster. No, they're getting FaceTime. I mean, Willow Nightingale and Marina Shafir are going to be in the Anarchy Arena match, which I will save my thoughts on that for the next part of this because Sarah, I'm not a fan of that right now. I'm not a fan.
I'm sorry.
Are the peeps a fan, though? That's what I want to know. Are the peeps fans of that? Well, they don't know what I'm talking about. Sarah, let's hear what you're talking about, though. Not with that, but with this.
Yeah, it's already been talked about in the chat, and it is the current rumor of what the plans are for Money in the Bank. And right now, the suggestion is John Cena will team up with Travis Scott and Logan Paul and take on Cody Rhodes and the Usos. And when I tell you that I want to jump off a bridge, I cannot emphasize that enough about this idea. I mean, beyond the obvious, like, terribleness of what this match would be, it's also frustrating because we know Cena is not putting the title on the line at Saturday night's main event. The next pay-per-view is 2 weeks after that, so that means he's also not going to be defending it at Money in the Bank. This also means that the World Heavyweight Championship will not be on the line at Money in the Bank either, because I mean, assuming as long as we believe that Jey Uso is still the champion, then he will be in this. I think this is just such a forced way to get Travis Scott involved in, because he's like putting his rap career on hold or whatever the hell he's doing, and he wants to be a wrestler. So this is just their way of being like, okay, this kind of makes sense. And it's like, how does Logan Paul make sense in this? Like, okay. It's also such a lame way for them to bring back Cody. Like,
yeah.
What are we doing?
Well, I mean, Cody and Travis Scott have beef, so
That's fine, but I'm saying like nobody wants to actually see Travis Scott in a match, first of all, and nobody wants to see a 3-on-3 tag match with these 6 people. Like it's like this has to be a joke. This cannot be real. You cannot have this be like the main event of Money in the Bank. That is an absolute disaster.
What I don't get is where did this come from? You know, it doesn't seem like any of their paths would cross except for the 3 of Cena, Travis Scott, and Cody. Like
that's why I'm saying it feels like this is a way to force Travis Scott into a match where he's not going to have to carry the match or even like do 50%. And then it's also a way to like reunite the Usos again and get that pop. It's like, that's the kind of thing that they're going with. And it's like, it's so surface level. And that's a thing that I don't like about Triple H. It's like the way that they book things sometimes is just for the reaction or the entrance reaction. And it's like, no, that is such a small part of a match or a story. Like that should not be the main focus of why you're putting these people in a match against each other or whatever it is, you know, like that. It's just, I don't know. And the thing is Saturday night main event is 2 weeks before Money in the Bank. So how are they going to force this to make sense in that time?
Exactly.
Nobody wants to see this, bro.
No, Sarah, you know me. I'll try to put a positive spin on it if I freaking can. But I don't really care to see it. And what I watch this, of course, it's wrestling. But I don't want to. I don't want to. I would much rather see.
There's nothing interesting about it at all. Like you can't even be like, oh, well, at least we get to see this. No. I don't want to see a team of Cena, Travis Scott, and Logan Paul. Like, are we joking?
All right. I would if it's a War Games match. Sorry.
Yeah, but we're just talking about like a standard 3-on-3 match.
Yeah,
and it's like, oh, well, Logan just fought Jay, so like that makes sense. And then Jay is his brother can be his tag partner, so like that makes sense. And Cody doesn't like Cena and Travis Scott right now, so that makes sense. And it's like, yeah, so you put it all together in one pot and be like, here you go. No.
Just because you mix sodas doesn't mean they're all going to taste great. You know what I mean?
Just like, and then what comes after that? You know, then you start to think about, oh, what we might do for SummerSlam or the, you know, Night of Champions. Because then the next one is Night of Champions, and they're not going to do shit for that either, because they were going to do champion versus champion. So like that's not going to have any storyline in it either. So I'm like, so now we're just going to go like.
Is it Night of Champions or Crown Jewel?
Night of Champions, isn't it? It's because it's in Saudi. It's
I thought it was the Crown Jewel. Yeah, I thought it was the Crown Jewel.
And
then you win the Crown Jewel Championship.
I think I don't know.
Well,
I thought it was
someone in the chat will definitely tell us, because you guys are.
I don't know, but anyway, regardless, it's going to be a lot of stuff that, you know, it has nothing. It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. It's just stupid. It's just dumb.
It's really dumb. I don't like it. You know what else I don't like, Sarah? I mentioned Anarchy in the Arena. I like that. I'm very excited for it. You know what I'm not excited about, though? It not being the main event. I'm sorry. It's Ospreay Hangman is the main event.
And the only reason it's a main event is because
Ospreay's going to win. And you want to end
this is the kind of thing that doesn't make sense to me, even with WWE, is like certain matches don't have to be the main event just because of who is in the match. You know, that's like Triple H wants to try and sell us like whatever the main event is going to make sense. It's going to be like the one that is the best story and the most hype and what the fans are most excited about. And that's not what he delivers on. And it feels like that happens far too often in professional wrestling in general. It's like the main event is not what people want it to be, and maybe people put too much stock into what the main event is, but like the whole point is it's because it's the main event, you're the last ones on, so you've always been treated as like the attraction of the show.
Correct.
So when that doesn't happen, it's kind of annoying for the fans.
No, it's very annoying, especially because you're the show should end with the champions feud. There obviously are exceptions with WWE and whatnot, but 95% of the time when you go to a wrestling show, the championship or champion is in the final match.
Yeah.
And with John Moxley's Death Riders taking on the Ops and Willow Nightingale, and there's one more. I forget. I have the card actually right here. The Ops, Kenny Omega and Swerve Strickland. And the Ops is Shibata and Samoa Joe and Willow Nightingale. They're still outnumbered. They have no, wait, what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Whatever. Point is that that should be the top feud. That should be the number one story. And because of the hate that it's getting online that I'm seeing with people saying, oh, it's slow and it's boring, and he says the same thing. That's the point of a villain. He is the villain right now of AEW. Saying that you need to do things our way because it hasn't worked out in the past. That's classic heel shit. And they're just terrorizing the entire company by doing whatever they want. AEW needs that guy to do that. And it should end with the show should end with Ospreay winning, leading into the anarchy in the arena. And the anarchy in the arena is so chaotic and, in layman's terms, anarchy, that it leaves the entire set, ring, whatever, in shambles.
Yeah.
To the point where you can't do anything afterwards. I mean, look at every anarchy in the arena that we've seen in the past. They have all gone all over the arena. They've ended in the most ridiculous manners. For God's sakes, Jack Perry was lit on fire during one of them. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
that's the top thing people want to see.
That's what
Why
we were
is that
saying,
not closing the show?
That's what we were saying with the CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre Hell in a Cell. It was like that should have been the main event because you knew that, first of all, it was in a Hell in a Cell. Second of all, it was super bloody, and the story supported that to be the main event. So it's like, I don't get it. I don't get it sometimes.
I really don't. It really upsets me. I don't particularly care for these types of semantics on a regular basis. But with how things have been going in AEW, it's really getting better. It's getting to the point where I'm not just caring about Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland. Okay. I care about people like Harley Cameron. I want to see Speedball Mike Bailey and Okada have just like a B story feud that ends up being, the match of the night down the road at either All Out or Revolution or All In, whatever. I want to see the tag division. I want to see the news today there was news of Tony Khan said that he's thought about doing women's tag team titles, and they're on their way towards that. They definitely could make an argument to put them in now with the amount of depth and tagging within the women's division. A move like putting Ospreay, Hangman in the main event kind of sets you back a little bit. Just my opinion.
Well, for somebody who's chronically online, I'm kind of surprised. Like, if people are upset that that's the main event, you would think that he would have taken that into consideration.
Like, I know you want to end the show on a high note and leave the fans, have the fans leave happy.
I hate that. Should not be a thing. That should not be a thing.
That's just show business, baby.
But but the thing is with professional wrestling, that shouldn't be a thing. It should be like the way that can be interpreted is so different, right? Because like even though they don't want you to cheer for the heels, there are people who those are their favorite wrestler. So technically you're not sending them home happy. So it's like the way that can be interpreted allows you to have the heels win.
Yeah.
So, and they don't do it all the time. Like, look at how Elimination Chamber ended with John Cena turning. Like, that wasn't sending the fans home happy. It's like, yeah. And then that was a really big deal. It's like, if you had just ended it with like Cody or Cena standing strong and like buddies with Cody, then okay, wow, I'm so excited that Cena won. Like, no one would care about Elimination Chamber.
No. And an example I'll give from Hollywood is Marvel when they did the Infinity series. Infinity War, you left the theater or left the movie sad. The bad guy won. We lost.
But that's the thing is, like, that's how life is.
But that's okay. Exactly. But that's okay, because there was another one coming up, which, let's put it back to wrestling. There's another event coming up, sometimes the next day or two. And you're going to get back on the saddle and the good guy's going to win, and just keep that ebb and flow going with constantly having the show end on a high note. It just leaves the product stale. I mean, for God's sakes, my first wrestling show was SummerSlam 06 when Cena lost to Edge. It was 4th grade. We got in the car and my friends were like, we're all talking that we can't believe Cena lost in his hometown. Of course he should win. But what happened the next month? In Edge's hometown, Edge lost. Like, that type of shit needs to continue. And it's just, I don't see that happening right now. And it's sad. It's sad, Sarah. Do we have any people in the chat that have some rosebuds and lemons before we hop in our, fictional invisible boatmobile, we'll say, and travel around the Wrestleverse? Do we have one? No, that is not it. So we will travel around the Wrestleverse, and let's not beat around the bush any longer. It was broken today. News broke today that WrestleMania will not partake in, WrestleMania will not be in New Orleans this year in 2026. Tomato potato.
Yeah.
It will not be in New Orleans in 2026. The new location is technically an old one. They are going back to Las Vegas. Is what everyone is saying. Allegedly. We have to say allegedly right now.
Well, because it's just a rumor. They're not confirmed yet.
Nothing has been confirmed yet, but a lot of the attention or a lot of speculation is that it will be in Las Vegas again. Listen, I don't want it. I think that's ridiculous. Other than my personal feelings about it, that's just personal feelings. But I like that the fact that WrestleMania is in a new city or new state or country, because Toronto or potentially London, every year. That's the lore of it. And by just having it back in Vegas again after the outrage that took place over ticket prices and prices for everything, wild move by the company.
See, like, I'm not mad about it, and it's not just because, if I go, it's a lot cheaper than if it were somewhere else. It's like, yeah, that's a huge plus, but like, I think that everything was like pretty accessible because you were within 10 minutes you were at an arena or at the Superstore, like no matter where you were staying. So It feels like it's such a prime location for people that are coming in to go to WrestleMania because you're on the strip and then you're within walking distance of one of the arenas. So it's like, okay, cool. Like, that is really nice. When we were in Philly, we literally had to take the train to get anywhere and then you had to walk a mile or whatever. So that wasn't easy. So I do like that aspect. I'm assuming that if it does end up being in Vegas, it's because whatever happened with New Orleans, forcing them to have to go and like find somewhere last minute, and because obviously TKO has such ties to Vegas that it's the easiest thing for them to be like, okay, well, we can't really go and find Orlando or maybe Minnesota will want it. Like, you can't go enforce that.
Mhm.
You know, Vegas is going to be like, yeah, you just brought in a ton of money for the city. UFC is like a staple in Vegas. It makes sense, and they don't have to do a whole lot to accommodate them. So that's the only reason why I would think that if they return to Vegas, that is what makes sense. But that's all. I mean, I'm not mad about it just because like it's Vegas. Like at least it's a better place than Philly. You know, it's like it's a more of a vacation place. It's a warmer place. Like it's a little bit more fun for people to go to if they have to. I it's hard for me to imagine, like, as great as London would be, if this feels like short notice for them to like come to that conclusion. You know, like if London wasn't the thing this year, before they committed to New Orleans, it feels like that's not going to happen next year either. That feels like it's going to be like further down the road. I don't know, but when we were talking about this before we started recording, they do have to learn from their mistakes of this year, and I'm just not sure that they will. Is the biggest thing was ticket prices. There's a reason why Mania didn't really sell out as much as they want to convince us that it did. It didn't. Even the SmackDown, NXT, and Raw did not sell out. It was NXT definitely didn't, and I believe SmackDown might have. Raw was sold out. You could tell, but like the tickets were ridiculous, and it just, that is going to deter people. So if you're not going to fix that a year later, then Mania turnout is going to be even worse than it was this year. So if they're going to do that, then they have to change that. Otherwise, it's just going to be a giant problem. And I don't have any confidence in them doing that, which is disappointing.
Yeah, I don't really. If you're going to do an international tour, it has to be announced at least a year in advance to me.
Yeah.
You know,
and that's going to take time for them to like come to a deal. You know what I mean? So that's the thing, is like, this would have had to have been something that New Orleans fell apart like 2 months ago or something, and they like just we didn't find out until now. And so they've already been talking to people, you know, the people over in London to get it set up. I mean, it's like, it's millions of dollars, and then they have to figure out, okay, where are we going to have Mania? Where is Raw, NXT, and SmackDown going to be? And where is the Superstore going to be? And where is WWE World going to be? Like, it's not easy for them to figure that out. So it's hard for me to imagine that they're going to be like, yeah, we can go do that in London, when they're like way more unfamiliar with their setup than anywhere here. When again, in Vegas, they know exactly where everything will be, and they know how it will run because of how it ran this year.
Correct. Yeah. And not to mention, or let's not forget that WWE gets a little bit of a kickback from the host city or state, whatever. They got at least $7 million this year for WrestleMania. So
well, and then obviously TKO is going to push Vegas too, because
UFC,
so
MMA,
yeah,
all that. Yeah, you know, it's nonsense to me, but you know, we'll have to just wait and see, because wow, that was some wild news to read on Twitter as I was, you know, driving through this nor'easter.
My boss asked me to write an article about it for Daily DDT, because it's like,
oh, you should have.
I did. This was another example of The Rock being so pointless, because like he showed up on that random SmackDown to announce the you know, Mania was going to be in New Orleans, and then it was like, oh, I want your soul, Cody, and it was like, what the fuck? Like all of this, it was just like, it was so even more pointless now. Like, because he didn't show up at Mania, we were already mad about it. But now it's like that entire night now was like a complete waste of time, because now they're not even gonna be in
exactly
New Orleans for Mania. So
hilarious though. Like The Rock is having a horrible 2025 in the WWE universe. I'll say that.
They're turning on him, and that's the thing, is like,
even I'm like, he's still my guy, but like, dude, I'm like over it. You know, like, I'm just
The
like,
Rock is your guy, like in the way that you think about him, like as a nostalgia thing. Like the current Rock is not your guy. You know, like 50-year-old Rock is not.
The Final Boss. No, not even, because I love the Final Boss. That's the thing. Like, this is worse than like The Rock right now.
Up till WrestleMania 40, The Rock was your guy.
Nah, even after WrestleMania 40 though, the event, because I'm accounting
He
the
just randomly
event, like,
showed up though and like had no, and that's the thing is
no, I loved
everything
it.
that he did after Mania though had made no sense and he had no plan for it. So when he showed up and was like doing the 3, 2, 1,
Oh,
like
that's
he
stupid.
literally
No,
just did that for no fucking reason.
makes no sense. No, I'm saying I love the final boss for WrestleMania 4 because it gave us what it gave us and what, all that. So, like that, but now it's, it feels like he is that dude who just wants to be in the cool thing.
He wants to
Like
take
wants to,
advantage of how it's booming right now.
exactly. And he's actually doing well in Hollywood with the last movie he just shot with A24 about the UFC fighter, the first ever UFC fighter.
No, I know. And then he just signed on to another one. And I was like, can you stay away from WWE then?
No, but
Like, can
like
you
a
just
great
keep
job.
doing movies? Go do
Well,
that. They don't need you.
I saw the trailer for the movie about the UFC fighter, and like he's really good. And it's Emily Blunt's in the cast too. Like,
we'll see what the reviews say because most of his movies are not.
A24 does a good job though. That production
that doesn't
company,
help his acting though.
It helps the movie. Let's put it that way. I think it doesn't correct like directly, but A24 puts out bangers. A24 puts out banger movies. All right. Let's get into some predictions. Sarah, Jesus bless you. Mom's having like a sneezing attack upstairs. I can hear it. Jesus. Let's get into some predictions because we got 2 shows to predict, Sarah. And with this one, Saturday night's main event on Saturday, 7 right?
I don't know.
I gotta this is why I gotta be prepared, Pitts. Gotta be prepared. Saturday night's main event will be this Saturday at, oh God, why can't you just tell me the goddamn time? Like, why can't?
Who cares? Just move on.
Whatever. All right. Well, it's gonna be this Saturday, and there's 4 matches. That's all we got.
Yep, that's it.
So let's go through them.
I think it's partially because they're gonna get some time.
Oh, they're gonna
especially
get
the cage match.
Yes, like that cage. I mean, anytime you have a specialty match like that, it's going to get some time. So, yeah, Sarah. Let's start with, in my eyes, the main event: John Cena versus R-Truth. How do we think that is going to go down?
Cena's winning.
What?
Yeah, I mean,
Sarah,
I get that Cena has a list of guys that he wants to face on his way out, and R-Truth is one of them. And like, that's cool, whatever. But like, I just don't really care about this match, and I don't really know how they can make me care about it. Like, because first of all, it's not non-title, so that already gets you to kind of check out of it, because it's like, all right, no matter what happens, like it doesn't matter because nothing's changing. Nothing big is going to come out of this probably. And I mean, you already think, okay, Cena's winning. So like, how are they going to make that interesting? I don't know. We only have seen like two quick moments of him with R-Truth, but I'm supposed to care about this. Like, you're talking about asking me to care about something from that happened 14 years ago. That's what you want me to care about.
I can't, with like all my might, I can't pick R-Truth to win this match. Like, I'm gonna pick Cena. However, as I was looking for the card, the CBS Sports tweet, the guy wrote an article saying how on October 31st, 1989, the Genius defeated Hulk Hogan on Saturday night's main event. It was a non-title match that he won, and I don't know. I feel like it would be very WWE to have R-Truth win on like a roll up or something,
and a non-title.
And it's a non-title, and then Cena just goes ballistic.
I mean, I guess.
That, like, I could see that, but that's the fan in me picking it, so.
Yeah, didn't we kind of talk about this, about it ending in a DQ?
And Jimmy saves him?
Jimmy.
Like
Jimmy
little
Uso
Jimmy saving
or
him?
little Jimmy.
Could you
Or
imagine if
Jimmy
Cena?
Uso.
What if Cena? I just went full nonsense fan, but I don't care. Imagine if little Jimmy, like they hit some music, and Cena like sells himself. I don't know. That would be hilarious. I know it's not possible, but because Jimmy Uso doesn't make sense at all.
So are you saying that Truth is winning?
No,
Oh, okay.
I can't. I really can't.
I just don't
but
know
want
how it
to.
would make sense afterwards. That's the thing. It like doesn't. It also would make Cena look weak.
Unless
So,
he goes on a rampage
I guess,
afterwards and
but
kills Truth, but do we really want to see that?
no, not
I
really.
don't know. I love Truth. I love our Truth. Next up, we got the cage match between Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre.
Yeah. Okay, first of all, I am so tired, and it's just because I've fallen off the Damian bandwagon. But
What?
everybody's like, "Oh, he's getting so much praise backstage for working hurt or like in pain." Are we just ignoring what has happened to Drew against Damian? Like, okay, we don't know what is going on with Damian and what he's dealing with, whatever injury. But let's not forget that he split open his wound that he got from Punk. Damian and when they were fighting, he reopened that. Remember?
Yeah, he did. I do remember
He
that.
got glass in Drew's eye, and dude,
Real glass.
yeah, and he showed up with an eye patch. Like, what are we talking about? Drew has been like, it's cool, sure, give praise to Damian, but like Drew has been working through shit too. Like, it just felt really weird to me that has become this like story recently, because I'm like, Drew's been working through stuff too. I don't get it. But anyway, I feel like I'm gonna get pissed off from this match, and Damian Priest is gonna win, even though I don't understand why, but whatever. Because God forbid Drew won a feud. So I think it's gonna be Damian, unfortunately.
I'm gonna go Drew. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna go Drew. I think he just kills Damian Priest. And we see him annihilate Damian Priest en route to I don't want to say taking, but competing for Jacob Fatu's U.S. title. And that is going to be the mid-card feud of the summer between Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre. Once Fatu gets out of this bloodline vortex, so I'm picking Drew.
Alrighty.
We got the tag match next. CM Punk and Sami Zayn taking on Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker with the Wise Man in his corner.
Rollins and Braun Breaker have to win. This is their first match together. If we're supposed to take them seriously, we cannot have them taken out by Jey Uso's best buddies. Like, that cannot happen right now. That would be so dumb. And that's the thing, again, when we're talking about wins and losses and people debating if they mean anything, it does. Because if Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker lose this, it's bad. They lose all credibility. So that's the thing, is like, wins and losses don't matter. They do, because there's no reason for Sami Zayn and CM Punk to win this. They were just coming to the aid of Jey Uso. It's like, oh, we just want to be like your best friend, and like, we got your back. It's like there's no stake in this for them. This isn't going to hurt them for them to lose. If anything, it can push a story further, because people still are like thinking that Sami might turn on Jey. So if he then gets his ass beat, by Seth and Braun, that could also be another layer to potentially seeing Sami turn on him. So I think there's more of a benefit for Seth and Braun to win.
Yeah, I pretty much the same sentiment, but I will add on that you need to have Seth Rollins follow through with everything that he's saying right now on television. And you need to build him up to be, we'll say, a savior of some sorts. And the best way to do it is to handle this shit going on right now between him, Punk, and Sami Zayn. And, maybe you take out Sami Zayn in this one, it leads to a more serious feud between Punk and Rollins. But at the end of the day, I just want to see Braun Breaker split someone in half. So I just want to see.
Yeah. And I think
that's
that I mean, I still feel like this is just like a holdover feud anyway.
Mhm.
I feel like a lot of this is going to play into what happens for Money in the Bank. So
Oh yeah.
it's like this match isn't serious. It's not for a title. It's nothing. It's basically at this point it's to establish credibility for Seth and Braun. And if they lose, it's like, okay, what? They're supposed to be like a force to be
Yeah,
reckoned with, but they
how are
got
we gonna take
taken
it
out in
serious?
their first showing. Like that's cool.
That is cool. It would not
Yeah.
be cool. I'm being sarcastic. Anyways, Sarah, we have 2 more matches.
No, one more.
One more. Jey Uso versus Logan Paul
Yeah,
for the
Jey
world.
Uso's winning.
I
Obviously,
got
they need
Jey.
to make him look like a legitimate champion.
All right, so because we both agree with this, I will pose this question: do you see Gunther being any? I don't want to say involved, but do we see Gunther at all during this match?
I would love for him to be a spectator at the commentary table,
Okay.
or even like up in the.
Even after he just beat the shit out of Pat McAfee, sits down next to him and does
Maybe
commentary.
he could be like up in the club section or something. No, he
In
could
the
be
tank.
next to commentary, not on commentary. You know, like he can just
He
sit
doesn't
there,
want to.
like
Like,
you
yeah, he
know,
doesn't
like
wanna
well,
be part
haven't
of
you seen
commentary.
that before?
Oh no,
Front
100%.
row-
Yeah, no.
yeah.
Yeah, they do that. Yeah,
I think he'll
you're
want
there.
like a front
You're
row
right.
seat, but like obviously not in the crowd. So it's like I would love for him to be there to like apply that pressure. Especially because it is 2 or 3 weeks until, you know, afterwards is it's what, 2 weeks
And could you
for Money in the
imagine?
Bank. So like it feels like we kind of need to be reminded again that Gunther is watching, but also like I said, I feel like there's going to be a cash in during their match on Raw, so it feels like you need to keep hammering home that Gunther is coming for Jey and building that up to make it look like Gunther has a chance, only for it to be spoiled, obviously, by whoever cashes in. At least that's my thought process.
Could you imagine the dynamic on commentary with Gunther sitting there? Maybe, yeah, he doesn't have to be on commentary, but he has
No.
to sit next to Pat McAfee.
I love them being like nervous about it, like on
That's what I'm
edge.
saying. Like
Yeah.
that's like, could you imagine that dynamic of like they want to be, you know, cheering or be more on Jay's side than Logan's, and every time there's an inkling of that, you have Gunther just deadpan
I
and
would
look
love it.
over. Like
Mhm.
I like that to me would be the show within the show
Mhm.
type of thing. So, all right, I think those are pretty good. Not
I
feeling it
agree.
for.
It would be nice to have a women's match, but it doesn't look like there will be.
We could get some sort of women's.
I just don't think
interaction,
so.
though.
There's only a 2-hour show. So it feels like 4 matches is what it is, you know?
It is what it is, which does suck, but more predictions because we got another premium live event pay-per-view this weekend. AEW's Double or Nothing will emanate through in Glendale, your neck of the woods, Sarah.
Yeah, I know. It was right by your hotel, like the backyard of your hotel.
I love that hotel. That was great. 2 days of just on my ass. But anyways, oh shit, where'd it go? All right, there we go. All right, Double or Nothing this Sunday at 8:00 live on pay-per-view. We'll start off with Nigel McGuinness and Daniel Garcia taking on FTR. What do we think?
I love doing these picks because like I have no idea what I'm doing.
No idea. So it's just fucking firing from the hip.
I'm gonna say Nigel and Daniel win.
All right. For contrary purposes, I will go with Daniel Garcia. Just for
We'll get
not
back
contrary, but
we'll get your comments, bad guy, afterwards, by the way.
What are
Yeah, he asked me a question, but we'll get back to it.
Okay. So we got that.
So who'd you pick?
I picked FTR.
Oh, okay.
All right. Hurt Syndicate with new member MJF, which is another Rosebud I forgot to mention this week. MJF was finally accepted into the Hurt Syndicate. Honestly thought we were going to get a Cedric Alexander appearance because they kept saying 4th member.
Maybe
They
that
weren't saying his name.
happens when they want to boot MJF out.
Maybe.
And they were like, we already have your replacement, you know.
I am going with Hurt Syndicate.
Who are they against?
They are against the Sons of Texas, Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Is it for the Ring of Honor titles too?
It is for no, it's just for the one.
Oh, okay. So then, yeah, Hurt Syndicate.
Hurt Syndicate. We hurt people. We hurt people. It's so catchy. It really is catchy. Ricochet versus Mark Briscoe in a stretcher match.
Oh, jeez. Okay, I have to say, I have this comparison. You know how people talk about Russell Wilson in the NFL and they say he's like a cornball, like he's so corny? That is literally Ricochet. Ricochet is the Russell Wilson of wrestling. Like it just came to me the other day and I was just like, yeah, bro. Like, oh, am I supposed to fist bump you?
I was going for it.
Oh, sorry. But I was like, when I see things from him, I'm like, no, he is such a cornball, and like not in a good way either. It's like cringy, like, oh, I feel kind of awkward. But anyway.
He's a chicken shit heel.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe this is going out on a limb, but I'm gonna say Ricochet.
All right. Okay. Any substance behind that, or are you just like?
I feel like it just feels more unexpected. I mean, he's going against a Briscoe brother. Like this is like in his wheelhouse, so it feels like it's too obvious that he would win. You know what I mean? So like, if we're gonna try to like get one over on people, we're gonna see Ricochet win in some bullshit way. You know?
Okay. I'm going with Briscoe because there's nothing more that I want to see going off of your cringy shit.
Yeah.
Than Mark Briscoe pushing Ricochet in the stretcher.
Tom says he picks the bald one.
That's a good answer.
Bald versus bald.
Good answer. Good answer.
Are there any bald frauds here?
Only one.
Yeah, that motherfucker. Anyway.
All right. I want to save the Owen Hart. Toni Storm versus Mina Shirakawa for the AEW Women's World Championship.
And Tony is champion, right?
Tony is the champion.
I'm going to pick Tony.
Sarah, I am going to agree with you there. Timeless Toni Storm is winning this. I love Mina Shirakawa. She might be one of my new wrestling crushes. But no, it's my girl. Timeless Toni Storm. Best women's wrestler in the business right now. Unreal. All right, next up, we got Kazuchika Okada versus Speedball Mike Bailey for the Continental Classic Championship.
Okada.
I will also go Okada. Sarah. I love Speedball. I think he has been a fantastic addition to the AEW roster. It's where his talents are going to be shown the best out of the two top companies right now. But Okada seems like he's going to hold on to that championship until we see Omega versus Okada to combine the titles to make the AEW Intercontinental Championship. So, and then we'll go with the Owen Hart Memorial Finals. Start with the women. Mercedes Moné taking on Jamie Hayter.
Mercedes.
I am gonna go Mercedes.
Mercedes doesn't lose. Okay.
Mercedes Hogan. I'm not feeling it. Like, I like her as a wrestler. She is really good, but like, I'm just not feeling the CEO. Sorry. See, it's like you feel the glow or you don't.
I think part of it was I feel like she needed to differentiate herself from Sasha Banks a little bit more. I think that's what we needed, you know, like I feel like that's what a lot of people did who left WWE and then they went to the indies or they went somewhere else. It was like they kind of didn't try to do exactly what they had already been doing, just under a new name, you know, because a lot of what she's doing is still revolving around money and a bank and whatever. And it's like, that's fine. But like the gimmick is like just Sasha Banks in AEW. That's basically what it is. Like, it's just turned up a little bit. I think it might have benefited her a little more if she did something more drastic to her character, if that makes any sense.
I could see that. Yeah, it feels like a DC ripoff of the Boss.
It's just it's just falls flat because it's like you've been literally the same character, babyface or heel, your entire career.
I just don't. Yeah,
I'm
over it.
But yeah, I think she wins though. Obviously.
Osprey versus Hangman.
I'm going with Hangman.
Oh, okay.
Osprey doesn't need to win every match. Although he needs to fix that hair, brother. Holy
no, I'll agree with you there. I'll 1,000% agree with you there.
Jesus Christ.
No, it's not good.
I don't know what he's doing. You're not in fourth grade anymore. Okay. Yeah, that's a fourth grade boy haircut from the 90s.
My nephews have better hairstyles than they do. And then the main event, Death Riders taking on, we'll say Team AEW. Death Riders and the Young Bucks with Marina Shirakawa taking on the Ops, Samoa Joe and Shibata, and Swerve Strickland, Willow Nightingale. There's one more.
I feel like it depends on
what Kenny Omega. Why do I keep forgetting Kenny Omega's in this match?
It feels like this depends on what they're trying to do afterwards. I know that, yeah, I mean, you could argue that about any match, but it really does feel like, are they already trying to get rid of the Death Riders? Are they trying to make them not look as intimidating? I don't know. It feels a little premature, in my opinion, to do that. So I'm going to pick them to win because I feel like it's more beneficial for them to win.
The Death Riders?
Yeah. Especially if they're going to have the Young Bucks with them also.
Yeah. I have a feeling, and I'm going to go a bonus here. I'm going to give myself a bonus that Darby Allin returns at Double or Nothing.
As a good guy, though?
Yeah, he's on Team AEW. 100%. 100%. He is.
But is Team AEW winning?
No.
In your eyes? Oh.
No, he'll come afterwards. That's like Moxley pins. It's over. Part of the Death Riders MO is that it's not over till the Death Riders say it's over. And then Darby Allin's going to say, no, fuck that. It's over when Darby Allin says it's over. And he's going to come out in some ridiculous fashion, whether it's Sting-esque from the rafters, whether it's in a similar truck that he had when he smashed into the Death Riders after one pay-per-view. I think it was Revolution. I could be wrong. Someone fact check me. But Darby Allin will be making his return to AEW very soon. Trust me. So, yeah. So there we go. There are predictions for Double or Nothing. I got those written down, and we'll see what I do with it.
Is he off the mountain yet?
I think he's off the mountain. Oh, yeah, because you got to climb down.
Yeah.
I totally forgot you have to climb down.
Yeah. Dude, they pass dead bodies and stuff. Like, it's so crazy.
That is crazy. That is wild. MJF, Vanny. MJF is that guy. He's a suggested friend of mine on Facebook. Crazy. All right. And then here's three to wrap up. Three quick ones to wrap up before we get to the 3 count. Sarah.
This is so out of touch. It's kind of like unreal to me. But on his podcast, he was saying, okay, first of all, I hate this phrase. Okay. This new phrase that people are saying that the hate towards somebody is forced. No, because I've been seeing it so much. Like, if we're going to talk about it with wrestling, I just saw it again last night. Someone saying like the hate on Jey Uso is so forced. No, it's not. People are allowed to not like your favorite wrestler and you disagree with them about it. Like, that's totally fine. To try and act like everybody gave a fuck about Jey Uso before this like yeet thing blew up is crazy, because that's not true. Like, it's just not to mention for the past 4 years he had been a heel in the bloodline. Like, people were not cool with Jey Uso. So this idea that like Logan Paul saying, I mean, I get it. He could be in character or trying to be whatever and be like, the hate towards me is forced, brother. No, it's not. It's really not. Especially with his reasoning, because he's like, I'm going to say it. You know, it's true. Logan Paul hate is forced. First of all, who do you think you are? Talk about yourself in third person. Can we not? In the WWE, Logan Paul hate is forced. Say whatever the F you want about me that's negative about my ability to wrestle, about my ability on the mic, even about my ability to become a champion and beat Jey Uso. It's not true. You're just lying to yourself. And it's like, okay, you're so out of touch with reality, brother. Like, people hate you because of what you've done before WWE. That is why people don't like you.
Obviously.
It's not forced. People don't forget the Japanese forest. Okay, people don't remember, or people remember about you being a part of scams that took money away from people. They don't forget about the countless offensive things that you have said over the years. Like, they don't forget, and people also, like we were talking about this before we went live, are becoming more weary or tired of the shtick of Logan Paul in WWE, because there hasn't been any evolution there. They're seeing that he is just like a spot artist in matches. They're seeing that he can't hold his own on the mic because it's just the same thing every single week. So it's like, the criticism that you're getting from wrestling fans, a lot of it, is going to go because they don't like you as a person. So they're not going to like you as a character either. But a lot of it is also going to be coming from wrestling fans because they watch professional wrestling and they get tired of stuff easily. You have not evolved at all in the, like, however many years you've been in WWE. So people are going to get tired of that. It just like they would with anybody else. Like, anybody else that was doing the exact same thing for years and years, wrestling fans would be like, yeah, why do I care about this person? I'm going to boo them. I don't like them. It's the same thing. So this is just crazy to me. A crazy take.
Wrestling fans are some of the most harsh fans in the world, but they are loyal to the product. And when you have an outsider like Logan Paul coming in with the track record that he brings in, it's ridiculous. Of course, the hate's not forced. It's, expected in a sense. Lean into it, and I've seen instances of him leading into it, and it's been great. When he gets in the ring to cut a promo, I would like to see more pivoting and more, going with the flow of the audience and not letting them just rain boos. That's what you want to do, great, but it's just not working for me.
I think a lot of it too is that, like, his inexperience shows when he's trying to talk on the mic, especially by himself, and I think part of that is because he just doesn't know how to handle the situation, and I don't know. I think that he does everything that's just like the low-hanging fruit. It's like, oh, I'm gonna insult the audience or tell them to shut up and say that they're losers and they're fat. And it's like, all right, dude, like, there's only so many times you can do that. Every time you come out here, for that, people are gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna boo this guy. Otherwise, they're booing you because they literally just don't want to listen to you because they already know what you're going to say.
Yeah.
So that's a problem too.
No, it is a problem. It's a problem, and he needs to fix it. That's why, if he wants to be a champion and all this stuff. So NXT Europe is expected to launch this year. Sarah, what are our thoughts on NXT Europe entering the Wrestleverse?
I'm excited about it, but like I said before, I feel like it just is so silly that they got rid of NXT UK in general, just to, like what you said, basically just to rebrand it. I mean, the main thing I would hope that comes out of this is that means that we're going to start seeing like NXT Mexico and like NXT, I don't know, wherever NXT else,
Australia,
whatever. Like, I'm hoping that means that kind of stuff is going to be coming a lot sooner, because this NXT Europe thing, it's been like the past 2 years or something that they've been talking about, that they were going to be creating these new branches of the company. So I'm hoping that just means if this is coming this year, that the others are not that far behind. because I'm really interested to see how that's going to go, how we're going to be able to watch it as fans, especially in America. Like, is it going to be on Netflix? Is it going to be on USA Network? Is it going to be like, how are they going to stream it to us? Is it just going to basically be like NXT UK, so it's its own entity, but then coming to NXT in America is the main goal, which is kind of how they dealt with it before. I don't know. Like, I'm kind of intrigued to see how they go about that.
It is going to be interesting to see how they go about it, because there's so much talent in so many other promotions. I mean, I talk about MLW all the time with their Lucha Libre. WWE's partnering with a AAA and doing the Worlds Collide, event the day of Money in the Bank in Los Angeles, and that's just two. You have Germany with XVX or XO, I forget, but they have a incredible. You have Rev Pro. Like, there's so many different promotions everywhere that a lot of those talent. Yeah, some of them may just want to wrestle in their home country and live a life like that. But I mean, we've seen with a lot of international superstars, they're watching WWE, so it's just capitalizing.
I think that they need to. WWE needs to prove that they actually value these people, though, because if we're talking about a lot of the people from NXT UK, like, the main person that's really doing anything, and you could even argue that it's not great right now, is Gunther. Like, a lot of the other people that were brought over from NXT UK are mid-carders or, like, not on TV. So it's like, if we're going to have NXT be this desirable place for people to go, why would anyone want to leave NXT Europe to go to the regular NXT if, like, eventually when they get called up, their career isn't going to be doing anything? That doesn't make any sense. And right now it doesn't look like it would be good at all, because it's like, oh, let's look at oh my god, why can't I remember his name? Oh, Pete Dunne. Let's look at Pete Dunne. He was like this big name in NXT UK.
Bruiserweight.
And now he's like, you can't even get him on TV. Can't even get him on main event. Why would I want to leave NXT Europe to go to NXT to then go on Raw and never be on programming? That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. We
can also delete that. That's fine.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, Sarah, it's time then for the 1, 2, 3 count. Couple topics, lightning round, 20 questions. Do you want to do one as well, or do you want to just do one of us?
I have one. I thought of one.
You have one?
Now. I just
awesome. Me too. Oh,
okay.
Sweet. So let's do both. Okay, so you I'll guess first. All right,
okay.
Is yours are there no disqualifications in this match?
Yes.
Is it a specific type of weapon used in this match?
Not necessarily.
No? Okay. Do you win by pinfall or submission?
No.
Okay. Are you climbing something?
You can.
TLC match?
No.
Okay. Is a championship or something hung above the ring?
No.
No. Okay. Do you have to escape something? Is it a steel cage match?
No.
Oh. Is it a Punjabi prison match?
Yeah.
Oh, let's go. All right.
That was the first one that came to my mind.
That's unbelievable. Okay.
I'm gonna be bad at this. Okay. Or is it no disqualification?
Yes.
Are there weapons?
Yes.
Like, is it a specific weapon?
No.
Okay. Is there a cage?
No.
Okay. Is this a common match?
No. But you know this match.
Is it something we've seen at all recently?
Recently, no.
Okay.
I'll give you a hint to help you out because it is kind of obscure. Last time we saw this was like Attitude Era.
Does this have anything to do with being on a pole?
No, Vince
Okay.
Russo is not involved in this match.
How about? Oh no. Is it usually a multi-man?
No, only one-on-one.
Okay. And there's weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I would assume it's not TLC.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like what. No. Okay. Is there anyone that is like associated with this kind of match?
One person, has been in I think every single one of them.
Okay, is it a casket match?
It is not a casket match.
Okay. Who would be in the match every time? Oh my gosh.
It is not Fight Pit. Tom Man.
Is it? It's not a fire. Something with fire, is it?
It is not something with fire. No.
I saw the last one.
You did.
I did, yeah. Bray and Kane. I was there. Ring of Fire. I mean, it is a pretty cool memory, even if the match was kind of shit.
Because you saw an Inferno match.
Yeah, I mean, they couldn't do anything because literally the ring was on fire. But yeah, it's a cool memory to have. Can I have a hint?
It does not take place inside of the ring.
Oh, is it a boiler room?
Yeah. I knew you'd get it.
Let's go.
Oh,
that
awesome.
Would have been a good one too.
That I thought of that as soon as when you said escape, because I had another one. I was like, oh no, I like this one better.
I was hoping that I found a good one or thought of a good one because it was, you immediately were like cage match, and I was like, no,
you got it. Good shit. All right, so this was a topic, but I thought it'd just be easier for us to put it in the 3 count. Goldberg is rumored to be making his final appearance and have his final match this year. With that being said, let's speculate on who we would like to see or think Goldberg will face in his final match. Sarah, who's coming to mind?
We've talked so much about it being Gunther, and I get why people would want to see it because it's like it's a big man versus a big man. They're gonna, it's gonna be a good match because of that. We've been talking about it for so long, and then of course there is the added aspect of
big meaty man slapping meat.
So people want to see it, but I really like this idea because people were talking about this online about it being Braun Breaker.
That's who I want.
I'm like kind of into that because of Braun and where he's at right now in the group with Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman. And in the eyes of a lot of people, he's like the unproven rookie kind of. And what better way to like establish himself and as a dominant person than to take out Goldberg, who was literally known for being just that throughout his career. Like, yeah, it's going to be 50-something-year-old Goldberg, but like if he's going to come back and help somebody and by putting somebody over, it feels like Braun is that guy. Like, and as I said to you when we talked about this earlier, I don't feel confident that Gunther would go over. So that's another reason why I don't want Goldberg to face Gunther, because if you're not going to put the guy over, then don't do it. I think that he might be more inclined to do that for a guy like Braun Breaker. So that makes more sense in my eyes.
I could not agree more. I want to see...
Who would win? Probably the life alert, because he would probably need to use it. He'd probably say, I've fallen and I can't get up.
I want to see Goldberg get chopped or speared in half, honestly. Like, yeah, have him hit a spear and maybe a jackhammer for nostalgia purposes, but God, I want to see I want to see the next generation stomp him.
And that feels like that's kind of like, oh, he's 58. Sorry. I said 50
Still.
something. I was trying to be polite because I was worried I was even aging him. I think, we've talked about the retirement matches are kind of like you're supposed to lose your retirement match, or a lot of the time that's
Yeah, you
just
go
how
out on
it's
your back.
been.
That's literally
Yeah,
what you do.
and that's like being the ultimate team player. And it's like, as much as I would love for him to do that with Gunther, I just don't trust WWE to do the right thing. I could really see them like allowing Goldberg to just kick his ass, and I don't like that. And if we want to take advantage of, like you said, putting over the next generation, it feels like it's an absolute no-brainer to face like the much better version of Goldberg in current day. Like he's like Brock Lesnar and Goldberg combined, but like way more athletic. So
Yeah, he is. Braun Breaker's a future star, multi-time WrestleMania main event.
thank God they kept him in NXT for an extra year so he could turn heel.
Oh yeah,
Like that was
we
such
need
a.
to see that.
We even said that. Remember, we were like, Braun Breaker's probably going to be called up, but we really thought we really need to see him as a heel.
Yeah,
And that's ended up what happening. That's ended up what happened.
Because we're that freaking good, sir. We're that freaking good. And 3 to wrap it up, because I didn't stream this week. It works crazy. It's warm outside, so people want their seafood. But check out the Nonsense Sports Network on twitch.tv.
You don't know warm until you.
Yeah, we're not there yet. All right, it's friggin' 48 degrees here, so it's cold. That's why I have the blanket on, and will have the blanket on for the entire night. Yeah, we got the Nonsense Sports Network over twitch.tv/Nonsense Sports Network. I'm doing the My Rise. It's getting crazy with our own war games popping up. And I play sports games over there. Okay. I might be dabbling in MLB The Show. I want to start doing that road to show mode. I mean, I could do universe mode, flipping it back to WWE. My universe mode's getting crazy, Sarah. Crazy. You're feuding with somebody over on Raw. I forget who though, because I haven't played it. I just haven't played it. But you got Gunther in your corner.
That's right,
You're
baby.
part of Imperium.
That's right. That's right.
We made that happen. I didn't get nonsense over in the universe mode yet, but we'll try. I think I did, but whatever. I mean, it's a nonsense universe mode. We have the teenage, they were in the last one. SpongeBob and Patrick are feuding with Pretty Deadly, which
oh geez, that
would be hilarious. Just they may not have to be feuding, but I feel like that those two duos dynamic together would be hilarious and awesome.
Love it.
We do have the Joker, Batman. Batman fought Jacob Fatu the last time. We have Shaggy's there. Have to represent Scooby-Doo. And we got Kenny Omega. We have Timeless Tony Storm. It's a real melting pot of wrestlers and fictional characters. So go check that out over the twitch.tv/Nonsense Sports Network. Please get that channel growing. So that's all I got. That's all we got for you guys here on No Nights Off. Thank you for viewing every stream. It's really great. Announcement, we have 900 followers on TikTok right now. So go keep that number growing and follow us over there. Hit that subscribe button and bell notification to know every time we post on here. And check back and follow us on social media at Patty Pitts and at SMarsh on Twitter, XO on Twitter, and at Patty Pitts on Instagram as well. Thank you guys for tuning in. God bless. Remember that you could do it. Just fucking do it. That's all I got. Peace.